What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis, including money, investing, the stimulus checks, the fourth stimulus package update. We got a lot going on here in our country, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has tested positive for the virus. Yeah, as the new variants BA.4 and BA.5 are more and more contagious. BA.5, they're saying, could be the most contagious virus ever on the history of this planet, more contagious than measles. Yeah, we'll go over that here in this video. And also, more and more states are finding ways to send money out to their people. We'll go over a list of states here in different ways here in this video as well. So let's jump right in. We got a lot to cover here in this video. Here we go. Also, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to subscribe. And also, thanks for hitting the like button for us as well. It helps out our YouTube channel. Here we go. Yeah, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer here from the Democrats has announced that he has tested positive for the virus amid a wave of new virus cases here sweeping the nation. Yeah, as we're averaging over 100,000 new cases here per day. And this is only people who go to official testing facilities, not even including the people who use the at-home tests, which millions and millions and millions of people have. And yeah, so the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer will be out here for, a temporary time here. Yeah, he was expected to meet privately with Senator Joe Manchin this week with over the spending deal, the Build Back Better package that would lower health care costs, combat climate change. According to multiple people, we know that they've been working on this. We'll go over some details here on that in a moment. This is they've been working on this a lot here. They've been working on this a lot here. Quote, anyone who knows Leader Schumer knows that even if he's not physically in the Capitol, through virtual meetings and his trademark flip phone, we've seen that a few times interrupt his speeches, he will continue with his robust schedule and remain in near constant contact with his colleagues. He does seem like he's ever working. That's the kind of politician you want. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he just jets off for holidays all the time, right? Yeah, you can even see right here in this article by the Washington Post, new virus cases are up with around 100,000 new cases reported daily on average. Those figures are likely to be an undercount, experts say, because of many Americans have stopped testing regularly or are testing at home, where positive results are difficult to include in official tallies, or they're basically not included in official tallies unless they then go get tested again at official testing facilities. Yeah, and then you can also see this headline here from the National Review report. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin have an agreement on parts of the reconciliation bill, the Build Back Better bill, notably on lowering prescription drug prices here for millions and millions of Americans. And they have sent this over to the Senate parliamentarian to be reviewed to make sure that it can be included in the reconciliation process. That's the process that can be passed with only 50 votes. Only 50 votes, because no Republicans are going to vote yes on this. It's a Democrat bill. Remember that Republicans passed their own reconciliation bill back in 2017, the Trump tax cuts, and no Democrats voted for that. So whenever you see a party line bill like this, like last year, the Democrats passed the third stimulus check package, the $1,400 stimulus checks. It had rent assistance, mortgage assistance, utility assistance, the child tax credits in there. No Republicans voted for that. All the Democrats passed that. They passed that through the reconciliation package, the reconciliation process. All 50 Democrats, including Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, voted yes on that. Believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe that they actually voted yes on it, but they did, and it was last year. So can they do it again? Can they do it again before the midterms? After the midterms, which is not far away here, we don't know what's going to happen here. This is only really possible reconciliation packages with a 50-50 Senate. Okay. If it's not a 50-50 Senate, you can't really per se do this. Okay. Um, the Republicans could take back the Senate. The Democrats could take back the Senate. Well, I guess you could do it with more than 50. More than 50. If you have more than 50 senators on one side, could do that. But will the Democrats retain the Senate? Will the Republicans take back the Senate? We'll have to see. Who will control the House? There's a lot of stuff up in the air here. And now with the gun safety going on here, there's a lot of people really up in arms about that. With the shootings over Uvalde and Buffalo and the July 4th incident, yeah, Highland Park that just happened. A lot of people are, saying we got to vote so we can codify this, and with also, Roe versus Wade being overturned by the Supreme Court. A lot of people saying we got to go out and vote because of that. A lot of people saying we got to vote to uphold the Supreme Court ruling. And, a lot of people are on both sides here. I personally think this is going to be the largest turnout for a midterm election ever, ever. And if you actually look at here, this actually just came up here today. 64% of Democrats want someone other than President Joe Biden to be the 2024 nominee for the Democratic Party, according to a new poll. Yeah. So if you're a Democrat, let me know your thoughts here in the comments down below. But here's what this says here. Most Democrats surveyed in a poll released early Monday said they would prefer a candidate other than President Biden as the party's nominee in 2024. Yeah, this comes from a New York Times Siena College poll found that 64% of Democrats questioned said they would prefer a different candidate other than President Biden. 26% of Democrats said they would still support Biden in the next presidential election. So only 26%. That's extremely low. It's extremely low. And again, I'm not picking sides here. I'm really just showing you guys what it says here. When asked why they would support a new candidate, 33% of Democrats cited age as their main reason. 32% said job performance. 12% said they would prefer someone new. And 10% said Biden is not progressive enough. So there you have it. There you have it. Yeah. So there's a couple different variety of reasons there. Let me know your thoughts here. 44% of all respondents said they would cast their vote for Biden if the 2024 presidential election were held today, while 41% of respondents said they would vote for former President Trump if he is a presidential candidate. The White House has consistently said Biden, who will be 80 years old in November, intends to run for re-election in 2024. Recent polling numbers, however, show his approval rating has dipped among Americans. The new poll also found that 76% of respondents said they believe that the U.S. is headed in the wrong direction, and only 13% believe it is headed in the right direction. Wow. Yeah, 13% people believe that the U.S. is headed in the right direction. and 76% believe that the US is headed in the wrong direction. When asked what is the most important problem the country is facing, the most important thing said the US economy, which was 20%. 15% said inflation and the cost of living, which is basically the same thing as the US economy, right? It's pretty close, right? The US economy and inflation and the cost of living is all pretty close to the same thing. It's kind of in the same genre, right? 10% said gun policies and 5% said abortion rights. Yeah, so those are really the next two most important things that are kind of on the docket right now. And we've been covering that here as well. We've seen a lot of protests here, a lot of people talking about that here lately. Those are the two other hot button issues. So, really, as you can see here, number one is basically um, inflation and the economy, because these are all kind of the same thing. And number two is gun policies. And number three is abortion rights issues. Yeah. And I'm sure also in there is, the war on Russia. News has been a little quiet on that here lately, but, that also affects us here as well. And it's also a large part of the inflation and everything going on here with the world here as well. And the oil prices and the gas prices here. Next up, more and more states are finding ways to send money back to the people. If you've been watching my channel here, I'm covering as many ways as possible. We just covered a $1,500. I'll link you to that video here in a moment on how you can get up to $1,500 based on each state, a little bit different, between $500 and $1,500 to pay for your energy bills, your electricity bills. Here in the summer, and for your heating bills in the winter. I just did a video on that. I'll link you to that video here in a moment. But there's also, as you can see here, multiple different states are adding child tax credit stimuluses. So even though the federal stimulus has not passed the child tax credit boosted stimulus, the enhanced stimulus. Remember, there is still a federal child tax credit that is $2,000 for this year if they don't pass the monthly enhanced child tax credit stimulus to make it $3,000 to $3,600. We'll talk about that later this year if they don't end up passing the larger one on the federal level. But there are also states here, and you'll have to file a tax return to get that, by the way. So even if you don't normally file a tax return, you might just want to go ahead and do it if you have children, okay? If you have children, it's almost certain you want to file a tax return because there's child tax credits that you get of $2,000 or more on the federal level. So it's almost, I mean, again, check with your tax advisor, but also these states are adding child tax credits here as well. Check this out. If you have anybody, if you have children or you know anybody that has children, share this video with them. Click the share button down below. And have them subscribe to the channel because I try to help as many people as I can here, not just for children, seniors, Social Security raises, low income, everybody. I'm trying to cover as many things as I can here on a daily basis. But here's this. Check this out. The total number of states providing relief and child tax credits or deductions has risen to 12. And it's actually 13 now because Pennsylvania just passed one here as well also. Yeah, and I'll have to get to that here as well. New Jersey recently passed its own child tax credit legislation here also. You can see here New Jersey's payment entails $500. And Mitt Romney's Republican plans wants to send parents up to $350 per month under the Republican federal child tax credits Republican plan. And you can see here on June 29th, the New Jersey legislature voted to approve a $500 tax credit for families with children that earn $30,000 a year or less. According to northjersey.com, credit decreases by $10 for every $1,000 of yearly family income above $30,000 until reaching a minimum of $300 per child for a household earning up to the cutoff of $80,000 per year for New Jersey. The other new addition was from Republican Governor Phil Scott, who introduced the Vermont Child Tax Credit at the beginning of June as well, enabling households to receive a $1,000 child tax credit for children under 5 years of age. $1,000. Um, that's nice. You can see here a lot of states are just finding unique ways to give money back to various different groups of people. And remember, I have another video showing you how you can get up to $1,500 for energy credit or energy to pay your energy bills, to pay your utility bills and electricity bills. I'll link you to that video here in a moment. This particular one is about child tax credits. It's not, not everything's about child tax credits. But this program is expected to benefit over 30,000 children in Vermont. The North Carolina child deduction isn't new, but it often gets left out of discussions concerning child tax credits because it is a deduction, not a credit. It's interesting. However, the top amount available to taxpayers is a generous deduction if you qualify. So if you live in North Carolina, make sure to look into this. You could receive a deduction of up to $2,500 per qualifying child. Wow. Just because the state isn't participating in a child tax credit program, it doesn't mean it doesn't have a respite available to residents. Many states are experimenting with gas rebate checks and inflation stimulus programs to provide relief to citizens. Yeah, and I'll cover that here as well. Here are other states that have this available. The state of California has the Young Child Tax Credit Program, up to $1,000 to each qualifying family with earnings under $25,000. A reduced credit of that for less than $1,000 to each qualifying family with earnings between $25,000 to $30,000. Only available for children under age 6 and must qualify for the California Earned Income Tax Credit. Again, if you qualify for any of these, or you have any friends or families that share this video with them. And if you qualify for any of these, please look into it, Google it, talk to somebody who knows about it, and make sure you apply for this, probably with a state tax return. Colorado, even if you don't file taxes, you probably want to just to get the money. If you don't normally file taxes anyways to get this money. Colorado child tax credit beginning January 2023, so in a few months, 5 to 30% of the federal credit for each qualifying child depends on income and filing status, only available for children under age 6. Idaho child tax credit, $205 per qualifying child. It's defined by the IRS. Maine dependent exemption tax credit, $300 per qualifying child and dependent, same as the child tax credit. Maryland child tax credit is $500 per child making less than $6,000. Child under the age of 17 must have a disability, and taxpayers' federal adjusted gross income must be $6,000 or less. Massachusetts household dependent tax credit, $180 for one dependent, $360 for 2 or more dependents. Dependents are considered children under 12 years of old, adults 65 or older, and anyone with a disability. So note here for Massachusetts, it says adults 65 or older. That's interesting. That's interesting. I assume they have to be claimed as a dependent. New Jersey child tax credit, $500 tax credit for families with an income of $30,000 or less, $300 for families earning up to $80,000. Children under age 6. New Mexico child income tax credit, $75 to $175 per child, depending on income. Any minor child or stepchild of the taxpayer who would be qualifying child for income tax purposes. New York, the Empire State Child Tax Credit, the greater of 33% of the portion of the federal child tax credit and federal additional tax credit, or $100 multiplied by the number of children. North Carolina, $500 to $2,500. Wow. Age of child not specified. Oklahoma, 5% of the federal child tax credit. Vermont, $1,000 for every child age 5 and under. Wow. Very cool. Yeah, so just again, another way that states are passing more money here. Pennsylvania just passed their state budget. I'll cover that here in the next video here. And there's a lot of different things that Pennsylvania passed. So that'll be in the next video here as well. And there's a bunch of different stuff in here. So make sure to tune in here for the next video here. That will be at 8 p.m. Okay, so you can click here and make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet so you don't miss out on new videos. Click the bell icon to get notifications when we go live. It's completely free to do so. You can click here to see my video on how to apply for $500 to $1,500 in utility assistance and electricity bill assistance here that is for most states. You can click that video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.